No Trump, no China. Caught in the middle, South Korea hosts rival superpowers, describes South Korea's difficult geopolitical situation as it attempts to strike a compromise between its vital economic ties with China and its security alliance with the United States. The Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation (APEC) Summit, which is being held in Jeonju, South Korea, with both Chinese President Xi Jinping and U.S. President Donald Trump in attendance and a much-anticipated bilateral meeting between them, is the current focus of this balancing act. President Lee Jae-myung's South Korea is still in a challenging situation. China is the nation's biggest economic partner and a crucial export market, but it also depends on the United States for security as its most significant friend. Nearly 9 out of 10 South Koreans consider the United States to be their most important ally, according to a Pew Research Center survey conducted earlier this year. On the other hand, a third of respondents said that China posed the greatest threat to their nation, which is indicative of rising anti-Chinese sentiment following Beijing's economic reprisal. In order to lessen reliance on any one nation, South Korea wants to diversify its trading partners, strengthen ties with the United States, and stabilize supply chains with China. South Korea and the United States are trying to reach a trade agreement. In order to avoid high tariffs, South Korea already consented to spend $350 billion in the United States and purchase $100 billion worth of liquefied natural gas. The final agreement is still being negotiated. The two sides are still at odds over the terms of Seoul's $350 billion investment plan, and U.S. tariffs on South Korean imports are still at 15%, down from a threatening 25%. The main focus is on President Trump and President Xi's first in-person meeting at the APEC summit in Jeonju. A framework for a deal to prevent future tariff escalation was apparently established by negotiators from both parties. According to U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Trump's further 100% tariffs on Chinese imports are effectively off the table. Important topics include China's pledge to stop exporting chemicals that are precursors to fentanyl and its possible commitment to purchase Boeing aircraft and agricultural products made in the United States, such as soybeans, in exchange for some tariff relief from the United States. Additionally, China is being pressured by the United States to relax its export prohibitions on rare earth elements. Analysts predict that the basic structural rivalry between the United States and China would persist despite the anticipated trade de-escalation, with the agreement mostly aimed at controlling volatility rather than a long-term solution. Subscribe for all the latest updates.